Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. When Fate Sparks Vengeance. Episode 7. Chapter 98 Crown. Dimitri sent his reply. Can't imagine the joy on Ride's face when I tell him this great news. Ride's wish is the downfall of the crown. Dimitri's wish is also the downfall of the crown. It's everybody's wish to see the downfall of the crown. You trust him that much? Helena inquired, arousing suspicions about Kieran. I trust him more than myself, I affirmed to my mindset. Depicting Kieran's change and his caring behavior towards me is enough to trust him. Trust can take years to build, which you built in a week. And can take a second to be destroyed. Be careful, Helena cautioned. I'll be careful with everyone, I convinced Helena of her doubts. I darted out of my room, avoiding another bunch of troubles for staying there while others work. I walked past Lord Blackwood speaking quietly with two armed men. Dressed in black, from the hair of their head to the sole of their feet. I could only see his eyes, wondering how they survived in that type of outfit. Lord Blackwood wasn't aware of my presence, so I hid behind a wall in order to listen to his conversation. I want him dead before the next morning sun, Lord Blackwood ordered. Strike by midnight. It's an easy job. No trace. One of the men spoke in confidence. It felt so intriguing watching them display such a caliber of courage and confidence. Here's your half payment, you'll get the rest when you've done the job. Lord Blackwood handed over a money-filled bag to them. This is a great opportunity to form an alliance with Lord Blackwood's PA. I'll warn him of this plot against him. In return I'll gain his trust, I said to myself, congratulating myself on bringing up these thoughts. What do you intend to do? Helena noticed the sudden anticipation that engulfed me. I couldn't even give her a meaningful answer, I needed to alert him. Gaining his trust would be a powerful weapon that'll help me now and even in the future. Walking around the whole house searching for him. Lila, I need you in my room now. Don't keep me waiting, Riley ordered in a demeaning voice. She waited for Kieran to leave. Her hatred for me knew no bounds, wondering what she wanted me to do in her room. I stormed into her room in an unruly manner. She uttered, "Don't you have manners, or your father didn't teach you manners before he died?" Those words felt like scorching arrows, shot directly to my heart. I just walked out of the room, closing the door. "Why are you like this? She's alone, you could kill her and forget about all her hurtful words," Helena retorted. I knocked on the door, which was definitely what she wanted. Better pleasing a devil than pleasing the ingrate inside this room. "Come in, you asterisk," she ordered. "What do you want me to do?" I asked rudely, knowing fully well that she might react, but I was hell-bent on accepting her beating. "I thought you wouldn't ask," Riley smirked, wearing a mischievous smile. "Well, I asked and I asked again, what do you want me to do?" I clenched my fist in anger. She deliberately wasted my time. Making a fool out of my presence. "Just go. Don't know the task to give a whore, weakling, and a thief which you're." She insulted me. "I'm not a thief and not a whore, so you better watch your tongue." I closed the door, turned the doorknob and locked it. "What are you doing? Don't come close to me, go away, now you're scared." "What are you scared of? I'm not a monster," I laughed hysterically, wondering why Riley threw pillows at me. "I don't have time for all these charades. I've got better issues to handle, so if you'll excuse, I'll take my leave," I divulged, bowing my head. "Go, get out!" she screamed. I walked out in style, happy that I stood up to her but worried about what would happen if she reports to Lord Blackwood. I walked down in haste, almost knocking Lord Blackwood's PA him off the staircase. "I'm so sorry, sir, I didn't mean to cause all this," I apologized, picking up the files on the floor. "Hey, it's okay, it happens to everyone," sometimes I even rush the stairs like a child when I want to meet up with something, he conceded, collecting the files from me. Thank you, sir. My name's Lila. I tried not to end this conversation, it might be the last time I see him. I know. You're a good replica of your father. He was a good man. Anyways, my name's Adrian. He affirmed. I wondered why he couldn't complete his description of my father. Maine was afraid of losing his job and most vaguely his life. I know you, sir. You're Lord Blackwood's PA. You walked into my room this morning. I made it clear to myself not to end this conversation. Oh, that's the routine of Lord Blackwood. He makes sure no one's outside or plotting against him, he explained, adjusting his glasses. Sir, can we talk in private? I asked, twitching my fingers in hope that he'll accept. Okay. Wait here while I drop these files, I'll be back shortly. Finally I get to find an ally. 3 heads are definitely better than 2 heads, I muttered to myself, giggling like a child. I'll drive you outside to a place where you can tell me whatever that bothers you. That idea didn't seem safe to me, filled with the thoughts of entering his car and someone drugging me. I felt impelled to ask him this: why don't we take a walk outside? I knew he would give in to my decision. I wanted to be careful with everyone, walking was the only option I had in mind. Fine. Let's go then, he divulged. We walked outside the house, into the town roads. So, is it an issue? Is it concerning the crown? Is it pertaining to Lord Blackwood's daughter? I chimed in a respectful manner. Is not about all you've said or you intend saying. It's about your life. Your life, my life? What are you saying, Lila? He asked. I could feel the tension rising through his face. I heard that one of Lord Blackwood's major warehouses was burnt down, he chimed in. It's already circular information, but we haven't found the culprit behind that act. Wait, you know the culprit, right? You didn't let me finish. The truth is that Lord Blackwood thinks you're the one behind the hit and has paid handsomely for your death, I warned him, hoping he would accept my words. You must be sick to have walked me down here to say this non-factual talk, he scorned. He was definitely angry. Well, call it factual or non-factual. If you are guessing this is all a lie, take me to your house where we'll find a spot and hide, then you see things by yourself. I made sure my tone of words was definitely alarming. Adrian waited for minutes. He was probably evaluating the basis of my words. Okay, prepare yourself, I'll be leaving by 10 p.m. Do everything in your power to be in my car trunk. It'll be opened, he conceded to my words on the basis of finding out himself. It's fine with me. You get to see the demon behind the mask, I affirmed. Just go, he said, sitting down on the pavement. He gave heed to my words. This would be a definite breakthrough of my problems, having 2 sources of information. It wouldn't be long before the crown falls. Father, we're getting closer to our goal, I muttered to myself as I walked back to Lord Blackwood's house. What would be his reaction when he gets to know the truth behind my words? I'll make him trust me and let other things align, making a pathway for the second wave of attacks. You're finally standing up for yourself, and it makes me happy that you're finally doing what's necessary, treading with caution, Helena blurted out. Her words made me chuckle. I wouldn't wait again, just playing all the cards, waiting for the turnout of events. My wish is for a never-ending dispute from the crown, which would make my plans fall in place. My opportunity to strike would become more visible, and that'll put an end to the horrible terrors of the crown. Finally we would have peace, live freely and coexist in harmony. My stomach roared. I hastened my footsteps, heading to my room to take plates that my food would be served in. I walked into my room, surprised to see my room neat, realizing my bed sheets were even changed into a better one. I quickly walked and raised my pillow, afraid that the person who arranged this would have seen the phone. The phone was still inside. I sighed in relief. I was shocked when I saw a tray beside my bed. When I opened it, the aroma filled my nostrils. A tasty meat sauce and fried chicken. I was afraid to taste the food in front of me despite the fact that I was hungry. No need to worry, it's not poisoned, a voice spoke which made me startle. I regained my composure as I saw the handsome man walk into my room. Who are you? I asked, admiring his athletic body. His sea-green eyes, curly hair, and charming smile. Any woman would die to spend a night with this man who stood inside my room, tasting my meat sauce with my favorite spoon. I had to caution him. Why did you use that particular spoon? That's my favorite spoon and no one has ever used it. Oh, that's superb and it's eye-catching, he smirked, wearing his charming smile. Just as you're eye-catchy, I muttered to myself, wearing a big grin on my face. Who are you? I repeated my question. My name's Ryan. Dimitri sent me here to protect you and be his eyes and ears, he divulged. The word protection has nothing in common with cleaning and cooking, I retorted, staring at the tray. Just felt like doing it, but if you don't like it, I'll stop, he pleaded in a low, apprehensive voice. I really needed his services. I barely had time to mop the floors of my room and also tired of little crumbs we're given as food. Who's asking you to stop? You can always do what you want to do. We're meant to be free and live our lives based on our choices. I twitched my fingers and raised the tray, placing it on my bed. He leaned on the wardrobe, staring me down with his beautiful eyes. Watching me eat is also part of your job. I retorted because I couldn't ignore his heavy glances. I've never felt so vulnerable to a man before, including Kieran, but Ryan's different from them all. He has that kind of aura that everyone would definitely succumb to, but I definitely tried hard not to succumb. I could watch you eat and do every other thing aside from bathing and using the toilet. It would be the most fun job ever, he laughed in his own words. I would definitely call Dimitri and make sure all this is true. I probably thought he would oppose me, trying to save his competence for the job. He widened his smile. There would be no need for that. Lord Blackwood would be announcing my presence tonight, and that has placed me in a position that Dimitri can't oppose. He spoke with so much confidence, like he knew this would definitely happen. He had an answer to every question, and that was a special ability that only a few people had. It seems you have answers to all your problems, I divulged. He sat on the bed, a few inches away from me. He explained, it's not answers, I have solutions to all problems I face. Sometimes I apply the wrong solution which brings up another problem, but in the end I still solve them. You're good with words. I noticed his verbal language, it's well arranged and spoken at the right time. What brings you to our land? I asked him because I've never seen this face around the whole town. Being a good walker and talker, I knew almost everyone excluding the crown assassins. He sighed, probably hates to answer my questions because it'll lead to his background. I'm a native of this land. I was saved by an old woman during the war. I have lived with her ever since. She died a few months ago, leaving a small book where she wrote many things. I read that book from the front page. My roots were written in the last page, so I came back home to where I belong. My real name's Ronald, but that old woman called me Ryan, so that's what I like to be called. Interesting story, I must say. She really trained you into a fine gentleman. I appreciated the old woman who wasn't alive to see what her care and love recreated. What's your story? He asked, returning me back to my senses. I wondered why he would just say precisely everything about him to me without even knowing me. I'll do the same thing, I muttered to myself, staring at his level of enthusiasm for what I had to say. I explained myself in the smallest possible details. My father was one of the few people that stood to protect everything against the crown. But unfortunately he died in the process. The crown won the war, and here am I serving in his house. That's pathetic, what happened to living a free life where we live based on our choices? He sprang up using my words against me. I couldn't face the shame of being banished out of my land by Rouges, so I accepted the contract to work as a maid in his house. I retorted, tears welled up in my eyes. That's pathetic, he scorned. Pathetic, you say? Well, I had no choice, I continued explaining. You definitely had two choices, be banished and live a free life or stay and live a caged life. So you chose the wrong solution to your problem and you're suffering in it, he retorted. He filled me with so much self-hate and tension I had to make him leave my room. That's enough, leave my room. Okay. He affirmed and walked out of my room. I never believed someone would castigate my decisions the way Ryan just did. Tears rolled down my eyes as I pondered on Ryan's words. I'm really fighting for a good cause, or I'm just here fighting for something that'll be my doom? I filled my head with questions I couldn't answer, in that I slept off. I felt someone's fingers, softly touching my legs. Moving up to my thighs, I held the hand firmly and turned on the lamp. Come on, Lila, why are you scared? I'm not, you could have called me before coming. I retorted in a very rude manner. It's just 9:55 p.m. not like it's that late. I remembered that I had to meet Adrian before he left and met his death. I was perplexed at the moment. I just made Kieran lie on my bed, massaging his feet, which was the fastest way to make him fall asleep. I heard his snoring sounds, it worked. I quietly changed into a black dress to avoid being noticed by anyone. I ran to the parking lot, with all the energy I could muster. I opened the trunk quietly, rushed inside and made a little noise that alerted a guard who ran to the car, checking around with a flashlight in his hand. What are you doing here? I recognized Adrian's voice. I thought I saw something, sir, the guards answered in a bold manner. Get lost, Adrian ordered. I sighed out of relief, calming my elevated nerves down. It felt so stuffy, lying inside the trunk of a car. The car stopped. My heart raced, filled with the thoughts that someone may have seen me. Come on, Adrian helped me out of the trunk. You almost got yourself caught, he said as he pulled the gear back. Well, it's a good thing no one saw me, I retorted, trying to be sharp, which I knew I was not. You better put your wits together before doing stuff like this, Adrian warned. Probably he had been in this type of situation before. Advice highly appreciated, I grinned, hoping he wouldn't find any other weakness I had. The drive was short, probably the reason why Lord Blackwood wasn't giving them a ride to do the job. Let's find a hiding spot, I said in a very mild tone. Adrian sighed. Let's go to the backyard, that's the only hiding spot I can think of. We walked to the backyard. The small trees and shrubs were definitely what I hoped to see. Then I saw the best spot to hide, put some black clothes on. Getting spotted would warrant your demise, I warned him regarding the darkness of the night. Wearing a black cloth would be hard to spot and I wouldn't be caught because of his white clothes. He pulled off his clothes right in front of me. I turned my gaze away from him immediately. He chuckled at my alert sense of respect. Come on, why do that? It's not like I'm fully *D, and precisely I can't fathom having anything to do with you, unlike Lord Blackwood and Riley. What did you say? I pretended, not listening to what he said. What did you hear? He retorted. Never mind, are you done changing yet? You can turn around now. I couldn't help but admire his leather outfit, it felt too pretty for a man to wear. He understood my solid gaze on his outfit. He asked, how do I look? Too revealing, I must say, I uttered, mocking him indirectly. We got seated in the hiding spot. I was pretty sure no one would spot us. The crown assassins are too strict to waste their time checking through trees and shrubs. What's the time? I asked, trying to leave no stones unturned. It's 11:36 p.m, I'm hungry, you want some snacks? Adrian asked me. I was happy that the meat sauce I ate earlier wasn't enough to keep me down. So I conceded. I'll eat whatever you're eating, wait here, I'll be back. He divulged. Where does he think I'll go? Nothing could take my attention away from this. I muttered to myself, grabbing the leaves nearby. Here you go, Adrian said, handing over a cup of wine. I felt so disappointed staring at him. Wine was really the snack to him. Thanks, I thanked him, gulping down everything at once. It surprised him, but that's the only way my father drank his wine. I couldn't help but copy his ways, moreover I'm his daughter. SSHHHH, they're here, Adrian whispered. They're a bit early, I whispered, tossing the cup aside. Adrian felt sad watching them search through his house, soldiers he trained in combat. It was heartbreaking watching your creation try to kill you. You really meant what you said. I can't believe my creations would turn against me someday. Now you've seen it, so take me home, I said as I tried to stand but was pulled back by Adrian. I didn't realize a soldier was still there. Let's burn this house down, voice one suggested. Yeah, we'll tell him that we killed him and burned him in the house. Voice two suggested. That's the best way to go around this, voice 3 conceded to his words. Yeah, let's do it then, voice 4 said as he picked up a gallon of petrol. Adrian stood up to go and stop them from burning his house. Don't go, I pulled him back to the ground. It was my time to stop him from making a mistake. What do you want to do? How do you stop? Don't know how many soldiers are armed with serum. You're no match for them. Let them tell the lie. You can stay with us for a while we know what next to do. Okay, fine, we'll wait here till they're gone, he sighed in tears. Losing his house because of a personal vendetta of a cold-blooded monster. We waited for an hour, surviving the smoke, until the soldiers left singing songs of victory. They all had sights on the money. Money they forcibly collected from us. Give me your phone, I asked him for his phone. He gave me the phone hastily. He was scared, confused, and filled with hatred. Someone he pledged loyalty to would in turn kill him. I called Dmitri. Who's this? I knew that'll be his first question because this number belonged to an unknown caller. Dmitri, it's Lila. I whispered, stealing glances around, hoping the soldiers were not coming back. Why are you calling with a different number? I guessed his next question. I need you now, I'm in a big fix and I'll be needing your help now. I'll text you my location now. This night trip is a new trend of things you're into, Dmitri mocked me. His words sounded funny, but my seriousness couldn't let me be amused. Stop joking around and get down here, I cautioned his amusing words. Adrian walked around his burnt house, filling himself with memories. It really pained him. Now I'm dead to this world. What an irony of life, Adrian said sarcastically. You're alive, you'll just change your looks and live freely as a new and improved Adrian. How does it sound? I'll change my looks because of that monster that calls himself Lord Blackwood. I formed the crown and now he wants to take over, that's why he sent people to kill me. You formed the crown. I was shocked at his words. It's a long story, he sighed and felt too sad to tell the tales. Nevertheless, I would love to listen to that story, but first be safe, I conceded. Dmitri arrived in his truck, fixed and repainted. I loved the new looks and designs it had. You didn't have to do all this. I value this truck so much, and besides I've got cash to pull it off. I wouldn't want to lose this baby to the crown. What's this monster doing here? Dmitri asked, pulling out a gun and pointing it straight to his face. I stood in between them and said, let's get inside the truck. I don't like this, Dmitri divulged, but still conceded to my words. Trust me, I whispered. Dmitri obliged him to get into the truck, which he quickly did. Okay, so now tell me what's he doing here? Dmitri asked in a mild tone, clenching his fist on the steering wheel. It's a long boring story, but I'll make it short. Dmitri chimed in. I'm all ears. Okay, Lord Blackwood blames that burnt warehouse case on him and plots to kill him. So I heard of the plot and saved him. We're getting too many, we might get caught, Dmitri cautioned as he turned on the engine. Let me worry about that, take me back to Lord Blackwood's house. Take him home, I'll tell you what next to do. I gave him that command so that he'll control himself and rides aggressive behavior. Dmitri drove in silence, he knew that I was getting angry and hated to see me angry. Just stop me here. Get yourself out of here before you're spotted by guards, I warned him as I stormed out of the truck. I walked down to the gate, hoping no one would ask me questions. The gates were locked, hoping that the gate watchman wouldn't ask me questions. Where are you coming from? The gate watchman asked in a bold manner, standing up from his seat. I was starkly surprised, finding words to say, but none was forthcoming. Ryan chimed in a bold manner. Lila, did you get the shrubs? What's he trying to do? I didn't see it, I replied, lost in thoughts. I sent you to get shrubs for me, and you didn't. How callous and insensitive can you be? He insulted me, putting up an act for the guard, who stared at him with keen interest. The gate watchman chimed in. You sent her to get shrubs? Yes sir, and I know probably she's been searching for it, and now that she couldn't find it she came back empty-handed. Ryan said in a low tone. Just go in, the guard shrugged, opening the gate. I walked in sheepishly, twitching my fingers. I couldn't hide the fact that he insulted me. You just insulted me. You know that, right? You should be on your knees begging me to save you from the watchman, Ryan retorted, smiling. How did you know that I was out there? Dmitri told me about the new development, so I confirmed it when you were not in your room. So I stood by the gate waiting for you. There you came and I saved you. He smiled and walked away to his own room. He bid me goodbye. There's something fishy about Ryan's behavior. Helena sprang up. What do you mean? I asked, completely confused by her words. He's acting all lovey-dovey and it's too good to be true, Helena cautioned. What should I do? I inquired. Be careful with him, I don't trust him one bit. His presence is a bad omen if you ask me. Don't say hurtful words about him, I retorted hastily. Be careful, Helena insisted on her words. I walked into my room. Kieran was still asleep. Just when he changed his sleeping position, I undressed and laid beside him. I wrapped my hands around him, he retorted, pushing my hands away. Where were you? He turned to look at me. Ryan asked me to get shrubs for him, I said, afraid that he'll think I'm feeding him with lies. The same Ryan that checked your room twice in one night. These words surprised me. Why would he come to my room? Maybe he's just checking on me as per Dimitri's wish. Ryan is part of us. Dmitri sent him for my assistance, I explained to him. Which includes your cunt. These words sounded odd to me and I hated him for using those words on me. What insolence! How dare you accuse me of such an act? You're just filling your head with insecurities and it's not good for you, I retorted in a rude manner which astonished him. I'm filling my head with insecurities. That's cool, just to let you know. Don't be surprised about the new change, he said as he stood up and walked out of my room. I was still in shock of what just happened. I ran outside my room. I saw no one. You're in a big fix and don't know how you'll get out of this one, Helena chimed in. Let me be, I retorted, walking back into my room. My head, filled with many thoughts, and that weakened me, so I had to sleep. I was awakened by the bright light of the morning sun, and the aroma of a hot, steamy coffee and bread. I opened my eyes. Good morning Lila, you again, please go, get out of my room, I said in anger. Did I do anything wrong? He asked in a surprised way. Go, leave my room, I retorted. I'll go when you give me back my utensils, he snickered like a child. Fine, go with the food. I don't need it, I said hastily. I can't believe I received all these insults for just doing my job, he taunted. I want to be left alone, I said aggressively. I'll leave, but remember I'll be here if you need anything. His adamant attitude was a bit compelling to me, and I hated it so much. Get out, I screamed until I heard the door shut. I quickly rushed to the bathroom to have my bath. While bathing I heard screams of my name. I can't go answering them in a soaked body or wrapped in a towel, so I ignored them. Zipping up my dress was the last thing to do before I walked out. Riley, Kieran, and Shane walked into my room. I turned to face the worst that would erupt from them. You're so foolish. Do you take us as fools? Or we're so small for you to respect, Shane said with a hard blow straight to my mouth. It pained me so much that I bled profusely. You're bleeding, that's good, but would have been better if you were dead, Riley chimed in a low tone. I knew she was still scared of what transpired between us and wouldn't want to do anything that'll lead her to that situation again. Get up, Shane ordered. Don't you have ears again? Or did that hit affect your hearing ability? I held my breath listening to Kieran say these words. It was so heartbreaking listening to these words from Kieran's mouth. I felt like strangling him to death at that spot. Is it the change he's talking about? Helena asked. I realized that this was the change Kieran talked about last night. He returned to his old ways. I was used to his old nature and still doubted his new attitude toward me. He's gone back to being that cold, ruthless, and wicked man. I chuckled and stared Kieran in the eye and said, this is the change you were blabbing about on my bed. It's so unfortunate, I'm used to it, so it's not a new thing. How dare you talk to Kieran in that tone? Shane retorted in a mild tone. Was he on your bed? Riley chimed in. Oh yeah, he was on my bed, resting in his arms, I said, wearing a mischievous smile. Kieran chimed in, stop talking. Riley stormed out of my room in rage. She conceded to my words, which placed a fulfilled smile on my face. You're so sick, Kieran stormed out of my room, to go and meet Riley. Shane followed him. I couldn't hold my tears. I cried in hate and disgust, still wondering why Kieran changed his attitude all of a sudden. Why are you crying? You're not supposed to be doing this. Ryan said as he raised me up to my feet and made me sit on the bed. Why would he do this to me? He promised to always protect me, and now he's changed into the cold monster he was. I wailed on his arms, soiling his shirt. Change is a constant thing in life, so we must be prepared to face change because it's inevitable, Ryan explained, patting my shoulders. I sank deep into his chest. Guess I wasn't prepared for this change, I confessed. You said you were used to his former nature. Why back down now? He asked in a mild tone. I was, but his new nature engulfed me so much that I forgot about his old nature, and it's a whole new battle to me now, I retorted, sounding like a 6-year-old girl weeping in her father's arms. You're a strong-willed and vibrant young lady, you can pull through this, he encouraged me. His words felt like ice that cooled down the burning heat in my heart. I guess I tried affirming his words. Let's go, it's almost time for the announcement, he uttered. I soiled your shirt. How would you appear like this? I felt sad that I cried too much. I wouldn't be the cause of wearing a half-stained shirt. I have a spare shirt in your wardrobe, he said in a mild voice. What do you mean? I was confused about the whole situation. I have a spare shirt in your wardrobe, he repeated, and this time a bit more serious. I remembered searching my wardrobe for my spare uniform which I'm wearing. I stood up and opened the wardrobe, to confirm. I was surprised to see the white shirt at the end of the wardrobe. I removed it. It felt like magic, but I doubted it so much. I told you that I had a spare shirt in your wardrobe but you wouldn't believe me. Maybe I didn't see it when I searched for my spare uniform. Yeah, that's true, he affirmed my words as he pulled off his shirt, bustling all the buttons. I stared at this beautiful body. I wasn't even aware that he was asking for his shirt that was in my arms. My shirt. Lila. Lila. He said in a mild tone. Here's your shirt. I felt embarrassed that my attention was captured by someone's body. He's not only good to be true. He's too hot to be cool, I muttered to myself, clicking my tongue in anticipation. He locked his right palm in my left palm, and we walked outside together. Everyone stole glances at me, because of Ryan. Ryan was the center of attraction. I couldn't help but fit into this attraction. I chuckled each time someone stared at me. Lord Blackwood wasn't there at the moment. Everyone gathered. Kieran, Riley, and Shane walked to the high pavement ushering in Lord Blackwood. He was clad in a beautiful purple robe. Good morning all, the only announcement is that there's someone I would like to introduce to you all, including my family. He stared at his family who stood behind him. This man is my new personal assistant. He'll be handling the affairs of Adrian who's dead. His name's Ryan, I guess you all know him already. This gathering is adjourned. Lord Blackwood walked back into his house. What an eluding personality. Can't even wait to listen to the people's remarks. Only a coward tries to hide from the stones which he knows people would throw at him. So he's the new personal assistant. I couldn't hold my laughter, because I've never seen a man this young handle Lord Blackwood and his troubles. Don't accept that job. You may die the same way Adrian died. Oh Lila, Adrian and I are two different people, he's this and I'm that, we're opposite, just like two parallel lines that can never meet. I'm going to accept this job and do it diligently, happily, and who knows, I might just be halfway around getting what I want, Ryan explained, laughing hysterically. Everyone congratulated him on his new position. The gardener walked to me and said, "Your husband is lucky, from grass to grace." He turned to Ryan and said, "You better be good and be careful with that monster." "He's no good." Ryan embraced him. It brought memories of my father. Tears welled up in my eyes. I quickly cleaned it off with my fingers. "You're crying?" Ryan was surprised. I didn't hide much of my tears, so it was very visible. "I'm not crying." "Fine, I'm crying," Ryan chimed in. "You should have told me earlier that you're going to miss my presence. I would have declined this job." Ryan embraced me, planting a soft kiss on my forehead. I realized that Kieran watched Ryan kiss me. You'll get a bitter taste of everything. I planted a soft kiss on Ryan's neck. He was filled with rage. He pulled Riley into his arms and tried to kiss her. She jerked, pushing him to the ground. Everyone mocked Kieran's childish attitude. He stormed into the house in anger, probably to vent his anger on Riley for disgracing him in public. I felt so happy, resting my head on Ryan's shoulders. I understood what he was about to say. Why would the moon goodness give me a cold, ruthless man who changes like a chameleon? Ryan is the type of mate I dreamed of, but it's too late for me. Kieran wouldn't hearken to my desire for sudden rejection. I'll just wait for him to get back to his senses, I muttered to myself as I bid goodbye to Ryan, who walked into Lord Blackwood's house. I don't trust him. Helena taunted. He's a fine gentleman. I wished he was my mate. I agreed on my words. Do you listen to your words before you spill? This guy is a I don't even know what to say underscore I chimed in aggressively underscore you can't even say he's something bad. I would define him with the word love and care underscore he's the definition of a fine gentleman underscore Helena sighed underscore just be careful underscore just as I turned to go back to the kitchen. Shane screamed Lila. Lila. Underscore what does she want this early? Underscore I darted off into the house, running over the stairs. I reached the hallway, her door was almost closing. She made sure that I was coming. Underscore do whatever she says and leave underscore these words filled my mind as I knocked vigorously. Walk yourself in fool. She never gets tired of using abusive words on me. The thoughts of leaving her room engulfed me, so I decided to endure all her excesses and do whatever she says. Underscore bantering words with Shane would be a fight with fools underscore I thought to myself before I asked her. You called me ma'am, yet I called you, although you're dirty and your body scent, very unpleasant. I'll make do with you because you're the best in that aspect. I chimed in. What do you want me to do ma'am? Are you that dumb not to even let me finish my words? So irritating behavior. As I said earlier, I need you to massage my body with this oil. She ordered a bottle of oil in my hands. Underscore this chubby body has all the oil it needs. Why want more Shane? Underscore I let out a laugh as she stared at me. Why the sudden amusement on your face? She asked in a mild tone. Nothing, just admiring the view of nature's beauty from your window. I'm not supposed to be saying this, but that's the main reason why I chose this room when we moved here. Shane's words surprised me. Underscore they relocated to our town, which means they're rogues. They don't belong here. Underscore interesting, I wished I had this view. Nothing would give me solace other than it. I acknowledged her choice. You're right, can we get back to business? She ordered me to unzip her clothes. Underscore weary all females, no need to shut my eyes. Underscore she felt embarrassed that I watched her remove every piece of clothing she had. I've never undressed in front of a woman before, Shane confessed. This sounded really funny. I felt like laughing, but when I remembered I wasn't far from her hard blows, I braced myself and divulged. Like seriously, you've never undressed in front of a woman before? What about your family? Kieran only had a glimpse of my body. And my sister, she hasn't seen me n*d before. How does it feel to watch a woman get undressed? This question baffled me in such a way I didn't have words to answer. I just said whatever felt right to me. It feels normal, then I'll watch you get undressed. Underscore I would get undressed in her presence. This is so absurd. I would have rejected this call the moment I had the chance. Underscore I sighed, knowing fully well that there was no way to go around it. I'll do it so that you'll feel normal about it, I said to her as I undressed. She watched me with so much enthusiasm, I felt irritated about it, but I didn't show it. She was all jovial, staring at my body. Now you feel good about it, right? I asked her awkwardly. She laughed and said it feels so natural watching you undress. Now I would like you to walk into my room with a female servant every morning after breakfast. Understood? Underscore why did I not look away when I had the chance? Now she saddles me with the responsibility. Underscore perfectly ma'am, enough of that ma'am word for today. It really makes me feel old like my mother. That's the way we accord respect to our rulers and their family members. It's not like we belong here, but anyways just call me Shane. But that'll be when we're alone. Aside that, stick to the ma'am word please. Understood perfectly Shane, I said happily, tired of even addressing her as ma'am. It sounded very terrible to me. Underscore thanks for lifting up this burden Shane. Underscore you can put on your clothes now. Finally I muttered to myself as I picked my clothes. Now back to my massage. Get it done perfectly. You were referred by someone I hold of a very high standard. Underscore who referred me to do this? Underscore Shane, who referred me to you? I asked in curiosity. Kieran and Riley argued about something which I didn't really know about. I tried separating them, telling them to rest their bodies. He yelled into my ears, "Why don't you meet Lila? She'll give you the best massage. That is the main reason I called you for a massage." What irrelevant thoughts of Kieran. People say things about the ones they love in songs and letters. He yells and screams at me. Such a fool. Why aren't you saying anything? Oh. Don't worry, I'll get your bones working in no minute. I didn't even know what I was saying. I massaged her body in the best way possible, a few cracks and few screams of exhaustion. I was done with the massage. Shane was so happy that I made her feel the urge to rest. "Thank you so much, Lila, I really had the best friend time with you," she said, pulling me into her arms. She embraced me with an oil and dropping body. "You've soiled my clothes, how do I walk out of here in this manner?" I hissed. "Here, have this." She pulled out a uniform from her wardrobe. What's a uniform doing in her bag? My head felt like a raging storm. Questions filled my head. I just closed it down with a new wave of thoughts. I quickly changed my clothes. She licked her lips while watching me change my clothes. "Can I go now?" I asked, about getting uncomfortable in the room. "You can go. But don't forget my orders to bring a beautiful maid when coming," she replied as she fell to the bed with her back. I glanced at her well-shaven cunt. It seemed like it was wet, due to its shiny appearance. I realized that I poured a large amount of oil on her butt, it must have trickled down there. I walked out. "Thank you, Lila," Shane repeated with a loud voice. What's she thanking me for? I couldn't even find the answer to the question I asked myself. Something really changed Shane. She wasn't shouting or disapproving of my words, or at worst dishing out her hard blows. Someone's definitely pulling the strings in this house, or better still calling the shots. Helena chimed in. But who could that be? It's definitely not me. Find out fast, maybe he's an ally or a destroyer. Wish he's an ally. Tread with caution. If he's an enemy, we change him or find ways to kill him. You rewrite Helena. Helena made a strong suggestion that I totally couldn't even place my thoughts on. Finding that person would be a very difficult task to handle now that things are changing. Everyone's proving an ally, I muttered to myself as I walked downstairs. Lila. Lila, everyone's just screaming my name. Someone needs to tell me if I was pronounced deaf yesterday. The head of domestic staff in Lord Blackwood's house continued screaming my name until I got close to her. I could see the fears in her eyes. "Finally, you can listen. Now pay good attention to these orders and carry them out respectively and efficiently. Firstly, you move down there, you'll wash all the plates. Water the flowers in the garden, and lastly Riley would tell you what to do." I tilted my head, running my fingers through my hair, feeling exhausted before even beginning the task. "I hope you're clear on the jobs assigned to you?" she asked in an offensive manner. "Yeah. It's all understood," I answered in a low tone. "Now get to it. Leave. This old woman is getting on my nerves, but when I want to put her in her shoes I remember my father's lessons. Okay, I shrugged and walked away from her to avoid further insults from her. The plates were numerous, but it didn't scare me. Something scared me. There was nothing I could use to watch all these plates. She couldn't give someone else this task. She definitely has her reasons for giving me this task. Guess she hates it that everyone thinks Ryan's my mate. She could have just prayed to the moon goddess to give her a mate. Why would she pull her anger on me? I muttered to myself as I walked to the well. Why do you like stress? Ryan chimed in my thoughts. What do you mean? Are you really serious? You'll need approximately 2 drums of water to get that job done. This is life stress. Well, I can handle it, I retorted, removing any sense of vulnerability that he thinks he's seeing inside of me. How did you intend to go around it and get this job done? What will be left of you when you're finished with this task? What does he want? If you really want to help me, please do and stop asking questions. What do you want me to do? I asked, hating it that I was vulnerable to him. You know what, just go, I'll do this job for you, Ryan suggested, wearing a warm smile on his face. It seems he wants me to get punished. It seems he's forgotten his new position. This would be disastrous when that old woman catches Ryan here. Don't worry, I'll handle myself. Come to think of it, you're the new P.A., that means you're stuffed with jobs to do. Handle yours while I handle mine. I don't want troubles from anyone, at least not now, I said in a sad voice, rejecting his helping hand. Okay, fine, go to your room and come back here after 15 minutes. This work would be done. Why would someone start saying things that are impossible to do? If I was fast about washing these dirty dishes, I would stay at least an hour. Please stop exaggerating. It's not even possible. If it's even possible, how do you intend to go around it? I asked him his question. It sounded awkward at first, but I liked it when he answered, just go. Give yourself 15 minutes of rest, you really need it. Truth be said, I'm tired from Shane's massage. I don't know what you see in this guy, but he's no good. Helena said in an unusual manner. I really need his help to get this job done. I've got 2 other jobs to handle. Watering that large garden and also attending to Riley. It's too much for me to handle. I confessed. Anyways, he's willing to do it, let him do it. You rest and get the other jobs done, but like I said, I don't trust him. Helena cautioned. I walked slowly to our building, stealing glances for that old woman. I hope she doesn't see me, I muttered to myself as I rushed the stairs and walked into my room. Panting heavily and sweating, I undressed, getting ready for an afternoon bath. I swung into the bathroom, singing like a hummingbird. It felt so intriguing, letting water trickle down my body. I had my bath, wrapped in my towel. I applied cream on my body. Someone knocked on the door. I noticed 2 people standing at the door. Did she find out? I'm doomed. I guess she's still suffering with the dishes. I recognized Riley's voice. They both laughed. She hasn't even watered the flowers. She's so pathetic and so sluggish concerning matters of importance. Let's go and check on her. They're going to find out, and Ryan's 15 minutes haven't expired. What do I do now? Fear engulfed my spines, and sent shivers throughout my body. I quickly wore my clothes and darted off outside. I tiptoed, almost close to the place. Wow, this is surprising. How did she do it? Riley asked. I could see the surprised look on her face. She's probably resting somewhere. Or she's dead. Precisely, Riley chimed in. They both laughed, happy at the words of my death even though I wasn't dead. They would be happy at the news of my death. What an epiphany in detriment to humanity. I coughed, announcing my presence to them all. My eyes dilated as I saw the plates, neatly arranged. Ryan really did what he would do. But it wasn't up to 15 minutes. The more reason I suspect him. He's not just like us. He acts weird, he shows more care than a pregnant woman. He's not normal like us. Don't say things like this. Who knows if he used his position to get everything done. The laborers must have done the job. Can you hear yourself out? The laborers did the dishes. If you were a laborer, would you allow yourself to be belittled by this kind of job? Helena's words were quite true to me. I have never seen the laborers do other jobs, aside cutting the outgrown grasses and making sure all the buildings were in order. I wondered the ways Ryan used to get the job done. Riley interrupted my introspection. You look so clean and all dry. It seems you didn't wash these plates. Did you do the job you were assigned to do? As you can see, that job is done. I would like to move on to the next one, I replied in an angry-filled tone. Why would you address me in such a manner? Riley sprang up. The old woman chimed in, rephrase your words and make a good sentence. I lessened my anger-filled tone to a more compatible one. As you can see, the job is done. I would like to move on to the next one. Get out of my sight. You stink, by the way. Guess all the dirt from the dishes have soaked your body, Riley mocked me. It didn't even bother me, besides I just had my bath and the scent of my perfume still lingered around my body. I walked to the garden, sad about the long job I was to do at the garden. As I arrived at the garden, I saw a watering can, stamped with a note. I removed the note and read, thus I guess there's work for you to do here, so just remove the watering can from the floor. Please remember to get out of the garden or else you want to get soaked. Your friend Ryan. I removed the watering can as he said. It felt like rain, water rushed from all sides. I quickly ran out of the garden. I was scared, although I wet myself, but I wasn't soaked. Some people just stared at the beautiful view. The view was beautiful, watching flowers getting watered. I was so happy that I pulled out my tongue when I saw the shock on Riley's face. Wow, you fixed the pipes. I was even thinking of telling my father to have them removed, but it feels good that you fixed it. Thank you so much, Lila. It's all fine, Shane. I was at a loss for words. Shane screamed. Lila fixed the pipes. Why is she screaming my name? I muttered, wondering why everyone regarded me as a deaf person. She's according to you with the respect you deserve. Helena made me willingly accept the respect everyone was according to me with. Your love for nature had driven you to fix the only problem they had. I guess. Who wants to see the flowers die? I smirked. Riley chimed in. Lila, it seems you're done with this job. Your last task is in my room. I hope she told you that aspect of the whole jobs. I'll be in your room in 5 minutes, I sighed, feeling exhausted and hateful that Riley's hatred towards me has overshadowed her sense of reasoning. You must be sick upstairs to spit those words from your mouth. I would be in my room waiting for 5 minutes, you ingrate. Now you stick with me. After you, she ordered. I walked sluggishly on purpose just to steam her anger up to the boiling point. While we walked the stairs, I stopped, feeling tired and worn out. She pushed me down the stairs. I hit my head hard on a step. It felt so sharp and felt blood gushing out of my head. I heard Riley's gasp as she called for help. I sensed the fear in the tone she used. My eyelids closed. I felt very close to death. It felt so unreal to me, and there was absolutely nothing I could do. I felt someone carried me in his arms. As he began to run, my vision went blurry. My head banged with thoughts. Father, please help me. I can't die like this. I want to accomplish all those missions, I said to myself, as I fell into a trance. My eyelids opened. Afraid that I had died, I asked, where am I? Welcome to the spirit world. Oh, did I say the spirit world? I was only joking. You're in your room. Can't you recognize it? Ryan mocked me but still felt sorry about it. Ryan's the man that saved me. Thanks a lot, Father. I won't die until I accomplish your wishes. The last thing I remembered was someone dragging me off the staircase and I lost balance, hitting my head on the sharp side of the stairs. I explained to him, staring down at his questioning eyes. It's a deep cut, but I know you'll recover very soon, he said as he massaged my palms softly. How soon? I asked as I placed my finger on the wound. It was deeper than I thought. This isn't a short-time recovery, this mark would be on my head for months, I retorted. I hated wounds, especially ones that would last more than a week. It seems it's already evening. For how long was I asleep? I asked to see the moon through the window. Come on, you only slept for 5 hours. It's already way past your bedtime, Ryan retorted. You're speaking of bedtime, it's also past your bedtime, I said in an amusing way. I don't sleep. I only rest my head and stay engulfed in my thoughts, Ryan said in a serious manner. What do you mean? I was surprised at his words. You wouldn't understand even when I tell you, he uttered, wearing a confused look on his face. Don't bother telling me, I conceded to his words. My head hurts and adding thoughts to think about would be to my detriment. Can you walk with me? Ryan interrupted my introspection. Where are we going? I asked him in haste, remembering how the gate watchman almost caught me. You'll see, he laughed as he raised me up from the bed. My head felt like it was filled with 2 tons of columbite. I rested my right shoulder on his shoulder as he helped me walk outside. I'm done with the stairs, I can walk on my own. Are you sure you can handle this? He asked, showing immeasurable care. I've handled things greater than this, just let me walk, besides you never said you were helping me walk. I retorted his care, it made me feel like I was his daughter while he was my father. It sounded really awkward to me and I hated it. We walked into the garden, the moon added to the beauty of the garden. We sat down on the bench placed in the middle. Do you know the reason why I brought you here? This question sounded rather odd to me. He initiated the idea and now still asks me the main reason for the idea. I don't really know. You're the one controlling my movements. You brought me here, so you tell me, why are we here? I asked in a mild tone. I noticed you love flowers a lot, you even talk to them like they're your friends, so I brought you here to enjoy the presence of this orchids, the fierceness of the hibiscus, the beauty of the red roses, I chimed in shocked. You also love flowers, and as I can see you know a lot about them. The truth about you is that you try hard to be simple, but you're still complex to understand. No one knows what next you're to do, but they always know when you're angry, happy, and just want to be left alone. Why is that? These words just rushed out of my mouth. I felt bad when saying it, but when I saw the countenance of Ryan I felt happy about it. There's nothing I would say other than you won't understand me. The truth is that I couldn't understand what he was saying. He spoke in an entirely different language. I thought of many ways to stop him, it wasn't working at all. If I don't stop him now he'll alert the whole house. I pulled him into my arms and kissed him, his lips felt so soft. It felt so intriguing to continue, but I felt it was getting too intimate. I stopped him from unlocking my lips, gasping for breath. I'm sorry, I got carried away by this whole thing, besides that's the only way I could stop you, I said hastily. I'm also sorry, it's a migraine. I normally have migraines, it's a bit too awkward for me to be acting all this up in front of you. I even feel embarrassed about everything. He confessed, wearing a long face. Have you discovered the cause of these migraines you're having? I inquired. He's probably afraid of medicines or worst going for a checkup. I don't really know the cause, but it's said to be indescribable until it's fully grown. It'll stop someday, I'm sure of it, Ryan replied in a very low tone. He has told me secrets of his life, notwithstanding I'm still a stranger to him. It's alright, I patted his shoulders. Sometimes I feel like I've been connected to you. Probably the moon goddess didn't do the right thing by giving us separate mates. The moon goddess did the right thing by giving us separate mates. We're so engrossed with each other, it's a good thing we're apart, I confessed, but my thoughts conceded his words. Having Ryan as my mate would be the best choice the moon goddess has ever made. He's the kind of guy any woman would want as a mate. I'll walk you back to your room, before going to my room. Ryan obliged. Don't worry, I'll walk myself back. You can go, I insist, and besides you wouldn't want me to tell Dimitri of your new status, he smirked. Oh, now you're blackmailing me. Ryan chimed in, beaming with smiles. I'm not blackmailing you. You can't blame a young man for finding his ways to help. After the first chance was rejected, Dimitri would definitely find his way to check on me. He may be caught in the process. I thought to myself. I had to accept his offer. Fine, but you'll carry me all the way to my bed. I tried to give him reasons to change his mind. That wouldn't be a problem. I could even carry you to the farthest place you can ever think of, Ryan affirmed as he stood up, stretching his arms. He really has a stubborn nature, I said to myself as I stood up. He raised me up to his arms. I couldn't help but laugh. Tell me when you're ready to go, just go, I chuckled. I stared into his eyes as he walked. He really cared about me. I feel so safe whenever he's around me. I wish Kieran would just say the rejection words. Kieran's rejection words would be the only solution to this newfound connection between us, Ryan, I said to myself as I placed my head close to his heart. Listening to his heartbeat was the best type of music I ever listened to. He laid me on the bed. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you, Lila. Ryan planted a kiss on my forehead. I couldn't hold myself. I pulled him by his shirt, and we locked lips in a kiss. This kiss felt so pure and sensational. It felt like I was a virgin kissing, although I wasn't. This is special. Please stop, Ryan cautioned. I thought he wanted this from the beginning. Why is he backing out now? What's wrong, Ryan? I asked him, hoping that he had no answer. Maybe he's just fooling around, making me beg him for X, I thought to myself as I got close to him. He stood up and leaned on the wall, staring at me in silence. The sudden silence made me shiver. It felt like I did something to him that he doesn't want to talk about. This can't happen. I can't lie with my next alpha's mate. Ryan was afraid of what Kieran would think or do when he finds out we had X. I felt so annoyed, staring at his big muscles and the show of his strength. I wondered why he would be afraid of Kieran. Kieran isn't going to harm you, and besides you're more stronger than him. He's not worth your stress. Fine, if you don't want X, come lay with me. I'm too weak to sleep on this bed alone. I said in a seductive tone. That won't be necessary. Ryan retorted, pressing his back into the wall. Come on, are you scared? I won't bite, I'm not a monster, I tried to persuade him. I'm not good at persuasion, probably why it didn't work. Kieran's the son of a monster, he's a monster. Just imagine how he treated you as a woman. What will he do to me as a man? It's so absurd, and I definitely wouldn't like to be in that type of shoes. Ryan's words were true, and it really made me happy that Ryan could resist temptation from me. Fine, just lay with me. When I sleep you can find your way to your room. I love your presence around me, please, I confessed, twitching my fingers. He grinned, widened his mouth, forming a big smile on his face. Just sleep, and I'll be out of here, he smirked. Yes, now can you lay on the bed? The bed solicits your presence and welcomes you. What do you think you're doing? He's a stranger, remember? You haven't even confirmed from Dimitri about his presence, yet you allow him on your bed. Helena cautioned. Leave me alone, Helena. Just let me be. I retorted as I pulled the sheets over our bodies. I paid deaf ears to Helena's words. Ryan felt scared about the whole thing. Can you tell me a story? I asked him, feeling too bored to sleep. I needed to fix my attention on something and weaken my brain by picturing a story. Sure, but would you be awake till the end? Ryan asked, stealing glances at my face. He's tempted to have sex with me but his conscience wouldn't let him. I've given up my conscience, whenever he wants it I'll give it to him. Okay. I won't close my eyes until you're done with the story. I answered indistinctly. Get ready, here comes Ryan the storyteller, Ryan said as raised his upper body. I continued staring at his beautiful smile and gorgeous skin. It all began with a certain man, he was just like us. He lived with his parents in a faraway land, they lived in harmony and peace. No one trespassed their territory and they never reached a border. The family was made up of a small boy and his parents. That boy grew to be a hard-working boy. He did almost everything for his parents. They rewarded him with so many gifts, yet when the family ran out of money, he sells those gifts and gives the money to his parents. He loved his parents more than his own life. His mother was a witch who was banished from her land for a crime she didn't commit. His father followed her out of love and became a rogue targeted by all wolf packs. They survived many hurdles which they told the boy in tales. The young boy understood those tales and knew it was the story of their lives. A day came when he stopped them from telling him stories. He said that he wanted to reinstall them back to their rightful kingdoms. He started training himself in combat and engulfed himself with the art of making weapons from almost anything. It became a talent. The boy went around the market selling deadly weapons crafted from the least things you expect. He became popular as a result of his trade, but most importantly because of his good gestures and care. He once helped the king without knowing he was the one. The king never had a son, he had 3 daughters. So he loved him like a son. The king made his trade an international one. Different countries walked into the small town to buy weapons from the boy. The young boy became a merchant, a very young merchant at that. He brought back loads of money home. His parents never liked the idea of the trade. They warned him several times but he didn't listen. A day came when a country in war asked for weapons. He sold weapons to them and with that they destroyed their enemies. The boy goes by the name, the Maker. He told the king about stopping the trade. The king refused because of the good things he got from it. His 2 daughters get married because of the trade and also the development of the town is also because of the trade. The boy hated to flout his parents' orders so he tried many ways to make the king stop. The king found out about his plan to flee. He kidnapped his parents and used them as a tool to tie him down. The young boy had no option than to continue the trade, but this time his work doubled and the income reduced to a minimum. The king got greedy. A time came when the young boy rose to challenge the king. They killed his father right in front of him. The young boy mourned his father's death for days, and his mother took care of him. He taught him many spells. A day came when his town waged war against another town. He was in charge of making weapons. They tortured him while he created weapons. They were defeated in the war, which made the king lose all his treasures and money he made from the trade. The king got annoyed, called for their presence and beheaded his mother right in his eyes. The mother gave him a book, before she was beheaded. That book contained dark spells, and was filled with many other disaster-causing spells. He mastered the book, every word in the book. A day came when he challenged the king again. The king locked him in chains. He cast spells, many spells invoking demons. The whole town was wiped out of its people. The demons found no body to possess. The young boy made a deal, sacrificing his own body so that no more innocent lives would be lost. The demons haunted his soul and caused him to do many heinous crimes. A day came when he met an old woman, who he helped. The old woman cursed him for bringing in demons to her temple. The boy was all grown at that time, and the old woman casted a spell on him. That spell would destroy him and at the same time solve his problems. The all-grown man was turned into a small boy. The old woman said, use this time as a young lad to control your demons. When you're grown, you'll find your mate who will cure you and destroy all those demons in you. The young boy closed his eyes and opened them. He never saw the old woman and the temple he stood in. He was in a desert. He walked miles without food or water. Casting spells was what he used to survive, but the consequences of these spells was that the demons tormented him. He found a way to control his demons and even gave them names. There were 7 of them, possessing his body. He found his mate who cured him of all his demons. The demons became his friends. They helped him make decisions and inquired about anything he wanted. He found his way into the house of the man who killed his parents. If you were that boy, would you take revenge? This story sounded quite interesting, funny, and serious at the same time. I wouldn't take my revenge yet until I was sure about everything. Maybe he's not the right person to be killed, I said out of pure instinct. Then what would you do if you found out that the lineage of the man who killed your parents was here? Ryan asked with tears welled up in his eyes. Why are you even crying? I got close to him. I was wondering why he told me this story that made him cry. Ryan's too emotional. His emotions are driven by this story. Maybe it's his story. Whose story have I been listening to? I affirmed my thoughts. It's the story of my best friend. He said it to me on his dying bed. He didn't make it alive, so he told me all his secrets. That's sad. If this story is his story, who's the person that killed his parents? I asked to make sure of my mold tone to avoid Ryan thinking I'm too demanding. I'll tell you on one condition, only if you promise to keep your mouth sealed. Let it be our little secret, Ryan cautioned. Your secrets are safe with me, I concurred his thoughts. Okay, the person who killed his parents is Lord Blackwood's grandfather, I gasped, realizing this story was starting its complications in my head. Why then did you address him as a king? I inquired, knowing fully well that since I knew what I was doing, our rulers are called alphas and not kings. It's because of the story, he said as he stood up from the bed. Where are you going? I asked hastily. I've told you a story, it's time to rest. My mind got filled with lust, I could feel my cunt getting moisturized. I can't shake off this erupting that lingers in my mind. I would like to give you a parting gift, for your presence and also weakening my brain, I smirked. He laughed at my words and asked, what do you intend to give me as a parting gift? Just step closer with your eyes closed, it's a surprise. I pulled down his trousers at once. You're the first and the best, he confessed. Ryan's a virgin. You're a virgin. I was surprised at his words. Yeah, any problem with that? He said without ease. All the men I've met had numerous escapades that they even told me about it sometimes. It felt unreal to me when Ryan agreed to the fact that he was a virgin. No, just that it's a bit appealing, I confessed. I guess so, he chuckled. I just tasted a virgin's load, that's the reason it tasted so differently. What are you thinking about? Nothing, just that my head still hurts, I lied, feeling sorry about it because I couldn't handle the embarrassment that would erupt when I tell him that I was thinking about the taste of his G's. Just close your eyes, he ordered in a calm manner. He touched my forehead, I felt a surge of dizziness through my body. I couldn't see clearly, Ryan's voice felt like he was standing at a far distance. I fell into a deep sleep. The morning felt so different, I felt like I was cured of something. I massaged my palms on my hair, I touched the spot of my injury. No sign of a mark, no deep cut, or dried blood stains. I was so surprised when I stood up and saw a tray placed beside my bed. I picked up a note, kept beside the tray. I read, "Thus sorry we had that little experience of X, just felt like it never happened. I definitely wouldn't want to be in that position and please do not put me in it. Guess you'll be hungry and thirsty after your therapy session. Eat, drink and don't be late to work, Ryan." I laughed at his words written in that letter. He called it a therapy session. Such use of words .. You need that food after devouring Ryan's big C**. Helena smirked .. It's really that big, my throat hurts a bit but it's nothing. I'll get over it in time .. I confessed, massaging my throat with memories of his head, going back and forth, hitting the back of my throat. .. How wouldn't you say that? You enjoyed every bit of it and even probably thinking of going further .. Helena mocked me. I chimed in .. He's not ready to give me that chance, he even warned me not to place him in a compromising situation .. Interesting, very interesting. I wonder how he would resist you again. He's just afraid of getting seduced again .. Helena's words were true, Ryan's was afraid the first time I called him to bed. He's really not the kind of guy who would be begging to have that kind of situation. .. I wouldn't put him in that position again, if his care and sympathy towards me is all he wants to give me. I'll humbly accept .. I said to myself .. I told you many times that Ryan's not worthy to be trusted .. Helena snapped. .. And I've told you many times to let me be. He's to be trusted although, he's so simple in nature, yet complex to understand .. I confessed. .. That's the reason why I said he's not really the kind of guy anyone would trust .. She said in a mild tone. .. Leave me alone .. I snapped. I quickly ate fried potatoes, and a tasty sauce. I always wondered why I didn't have a brother who could cook like Ryan. Dimitri knows how to cook but he hasn't perfected his skills on some types of dishes and those dishes are part of what I love eating. I had my bath, dressed up and walked out of my room. I stood on the balcony, admiring Ryan who was dressed in a brown tuxedo suit. I couldn't help but walk down and commend him on his out. "How do I look?" Ryan asked. "You look beautiful." I thought that word works only on women. Come on, don't be like that, I couldn't use the word handsome on you, it didn't depict what you looked like. What do I look like? You look like the most fiercest hibiscus I've ever seen. We both laughed, I slipped and fell into his arms. He saved me again, staring into his deep blue eyes. He raised me up, I didn't notice the presence of Kieran. Kieran hit Ryan hard on his mouth, blood gushed out of his mouth, as he fell on the ground, feeling the effects of the punch. I snapped, "You lying, conniving ingrate. See what you did to him." Kieran ordered guards, "Take her to my room." 4 guards made a circle around me. I won't give in so easily to your threats, Kieran I said to myself as I stood up. The first guard tried to touch me, I dodged him and pushed him to the other guard by my left, then I ran heels high to my room, shutting the door and placing my cupboard against the door. My heart raced, in fear and in agony. I was afraid of Kieran. Tears rolled down my eyes. "I've failed you, Father," I said to myself as I wailed, digging my fingers on the wall. I have failed my father in many ways that I can't even imagine. You're so stupid, why can't you stand up and face your enemies head to head? You're here weeping like a child. Helena's words added to my heart-impaled suffering. I brought it upon myself, so there's no need to blame it on another. Ryan stood by the door. "Lila, please open the door. I'm sorry, it's all my fault, I should have let you go but instead I asked you about my outfit. Please forgive me and open the door. I hold nothing against you, please just go." "Lila, go get out of my life," I snapped. He sat down, with his back against the door. "I can't leave you in this state, so the earlier you open the door the better for you." I want to be sure you're okay. Go get out. Leave. I won't go. I grew annoyed at his sudden stubbornness, clenching my fists in anger. I let Helena out. I broke out through the window, as I howled. She's so big, Ryan exclaimed as he stood up in fear. Cage that loose animal down, Kieran ordered. The guards opened the weapon room, storming out with guns filled with serum. I laughed hysterically. Kieran knew that serum wouldn't kill me. It'll only weaken me, and that's if it touches me. I raised the truck used to carry herbs, medicines, and sometimes furniture. I covered all the guards with one truck. They probably had broken legs and arms. Kieran howled, accepting his supernatural form. I would like to settle our differences in a fight. This isn't a fight. It's war, and I'm definitely the victor, I snapped. You wish, he gaped, his claw on my face. My face was red with anger. I couldn't hurt Kieran. Helena tried to control me, but my resistance was too much for her to handle. I was so engrossed in what I was doing that I didn't even realize Lord Blackwood had given a command. Take her down, my soldiers. Then a big blast happened right before my eyes. Ryan was the one that the bullet hit instead of me. I turned human, watching Ryan groaning in an unusual voice. Ryan, please open your eyes. I held his head in my laps. Tears rolled down my eyes as I concluded that he was dead. Ryan saved me, now he loses his life in the process. Ryan coughed out blood. Everyone was mesmerized at the power of the new serum Lord Blackwood created. Ryan, can you see me? How many fingers are here? What am I wearing? I asked him many questions at the same time, which sounded quite funny to him. How do you expect me to answer all these questions at once? He smirked, blood dripped from the side of his mouth. You're alive. I'm sorry that I brought this upon you. It's all my fault, please forgive me, I confessed to him. Come on, it's nothing, and besides serum has no effects on a wizard like me. A wizard like me? Is he really a wizard? What did you say? I asked in a mild tone, probably sure he thinks I didn't hear his words. I said that serum can't affect a wizard like me, he replied, clicking his tongue. Are you a wizard? I asked him in shock. Let's get out of here. As you can see, we're the center of attraction. Ryan stood up, stretching his arms and legs, showing no weakness. All eyes gazed upon the mighty Ryan, who survived a blast of serum. Lord Blackwood walked in haste to get a closer look on Ryan's body. He checked Ryan's body for any visible scars or injuries. Did that blast really hit you? It's obvious that you missed it, Lord Blackwood divulged. Let your words be your thoughts. Come on, Lila, let's go, Ryan chucked as we walked together to his room. I felt scared at first. I've never been to his room. It sent shivers down my spines, but I tried hard to hide the feelings. He halted, holding the doorknob. I know you're scared, you don't have to hide it. It's quite visible, you know, right? There's absolutely nothing to be scared of, trust me. How can I trust you when I know precisely nothing about you? I held onto his shirt, as we walked into his room. I walked sheepishly, hating it that I behaved like a child in his presence. Wow, this room looks like it's cleaned every hour of the day. I applauded the extreme neatness in his room. His room looked like a small castle. On the left side is his beautifully decorated bed, with flower vases at the four edges of the bed. To the right is his wardrobe, neatly polished, no sign of dusty furniture. His clothes are all sparkling. To the other end is a small table and a chair. To the left end of the room a small shelf locked with a padlock. I noticed a black book on his table. I wanted to see the contents of it, so I pushed forward to get it. Ryan pulled me back and took the book. He pulled a 5-digit code before the padlock opened. He hurriedly threw the book on the shelf and locked it. What's on that shelf? I would find out what's in that shelf, why did you stop me from taking that book? He hissed in sad way. Sitting on the bed he said, I don't know what to say to you now, and I hate lying to you, so I chose not to speak a word. Come on, just spill it out. At times problems shared are problems solved, I tried to convince him. Ryan chimed in, half solved to be precise. I knew it, he was never someone you could trust. He's hiding something away from you, you better find out. Helena warned. Someone knocked on the door. I stood up to open the door when Ryan said, you're my guest. Guests don't go answering calls, they sit and relax. So sit and relax while I check who's knocking. Ryan hates to see me stressed at any point, and he finds every means to make me laugh and also treats me like a child. What do you want? Ryan asked with a cold voice as he closed the door. I knew it was Kieran that made Ryan speak in that manner. Ryan, who's the man at the door? I asked in a loud voice. It's your lover boy, the hero that made me bleed today because of you, Ryan divulged in a loud voice. I don't want to ever set my eyes on him, I said in a mild tone. Okay, fine. Lord Blackwood has invited you two for a dinner party, Kieran said in a low voice. I chimed in, I'm not coming, I'll be leaving, Kieran said as I heard a deep sigh and retreating steps. You're about to flout the orders of the Alpha. Get dressed, we're going to that dinner party, Ryan warned as he pulled off his shirts and trousers. He picked up a towel and hung it on his neck, heading to the bathroom to have his shower. How would I attend a party without a dress, or do you expect me to appear in my job clothes and be an emblem of mockery in the whole town? I told him my problem. I didn't feel like wearing the red dress Kieran bought for me. He definitely would be over me if he sees me wearing his dress. That wouldn't be a problem. I tried my tailoring skills to make a dress. It's not beautiful, but it's fit for the party, Ryan answered as he turned on the shower and closed the door. I checked the wardrobe, staring at the black dress. This dress is beautiful and it's more than fit for the party. I appreciated Ryan for the dress. I'm glad you like it. Can't wait to see how it fits on your body, Ryan said, humming in his bath. I'll be back, I said in a mild tone. I rushed to my room, quickly undressed, tossing clothes on the bed. I wrapped myself in a towel, heading to the bathroom. Then I noticed a small piece fell off as I held the black dress to admire it once more before going to bathe. I picked up the paper and read, thus for that special one who makes me happy, the one I'm afraid to love. The only friend I have in this life and would wish for in the next life. Thank you, Ryan, he's truly obsessed with me, I said to myself, running off to the bathroom. The thoughts of Ryan engulfed my mind as I had my bath. I quickly dried off the trickles of water that escaped from my hair. I quickly dressed, wearing my silver shoes, a black dress and a matching black hat. It's been a while. I applied makeup, still surprised it looks good on me. I walked out of my room, walking slowly on the stairs. Kieran was already waiting for me, so he decided to add a little style to his dressing. I knew Ryan to be well acquainted with tuxedo suits, but this time he wore a headscarf matching the blue suit. He didn't even wear a shirt, and I loved it that way. At least I got to be mesmerized by the view of his chest. You look stunning, like the moon goddess herself, Ryan smirked. Just exaggerating on every cloth I put on, I said, trying to hide my smiles from him. That's a lie, I've never seen your face painted before, he said. I laughed at his words. He began to wonder what made me laugh. I had to tell him, so I divulged in the best way possible. You're funny, you call it face painting. It's not face painting, it's called makeup. Guess being alone as a man didn't quite expose me to beautifications as this, Ryan uttered in a silent voice. Don't I look beautiful without makeup? I asked, looking for more appreciation for my beauty. You're more beautiful when you're angry or annoyed. It makes your feelings evident, which crowns it all for me. Ryan meant every word he said with the expression on his face. Let's go, we're late you know, I reminded him because I wouldn't want to be in a situation to banter words with Lord Blackwood. It's only a few steps away, so no worries. Let's walk like a couple, we're not. Ryan always finds ways to make me laugh, smile and be happy, and I love him for that, but I'm stuck with Kieran. We both laughed, but my right palm got entangled in his left palm. We walked like a couple. We caught everyone's attention as we walked in together. Ryan just waved at the few people he understood because of his new job. Kieran was part of the people who fed his eyes on me. You care for a drink? Not exactly ready for that, and besides it's too early to start drinking. We're at a party and your father wouldn't like to see you misbehaving under the influence of alcohol. I tried to end the conversation before it even started. I was ready to repay him for all the deeds he caused me, and that would include little or no conversations with him. You don't have to be rigid with me, we're at a party, remember? Oh yeah, we're in a party, which indicates dancing and not talking, I replied, maintaining my cold nature towards him. Shane chimed in. Oh my, Lila, you're too beautiful to be called a maid. Sorry brother, I'll be taking away from you. I followed Shane. She was heading straight to her room. What's going on? I asked. I want you to see something, she said. Go in. Trust me, I wouldn't hurt you. I felt a bit awkward about Shane's inquisitive behavior. I walked in nevertheless. I met a beautiful lady sitting on her bed. Shane locked the door. I turned back to glance at the doorknob. No key was there. Shane had hidden the key. What's going on here? I asked, feeling uncomfortable in the room that its light changed blue. Meet Silver, my mate. What did you say? I wanted her to repeat her words. Meet Silver, my mate. Is it possible for a matured girl to have a very young boy as her mate? I asked myself different questions before I tried to explain things better to Shane. It's not possible for you to have him as your mate. He's too young for you. Well, it's the moon goddess that would be questioned about that, and besides, you made me want a young boy as a mate. She replied, helping down a cup of wine. What did I do that made you want this young lad? It looks disgusting. Shane chimed in. I tried many ways to get a mate, someone who would love me and not reject me. I've suffered many rejections. Take a look at you. You're battling your mind on two men who love and care about you, while I can't even get a man that would stay with me for up to a month. Firstly, I loved Kieran, your brother, but he's too proud and arrogant to understand it. Secondly, Ryan's a cool friend. I would have loved to be my mate, but I still love Kieran, and Ryan's just a friend. Why bring me here? I asked her, confused at that point. I want to show you the fun in having a young lad as a mate. Shane said this as she pulled off her gown. They both tied me to a chair with ropes. What would they do together? I asked myself, wondering what Shane and Silver would do to each other. Silver undressed, tossing them aside and staring into the eyes of Shane. I could sense their bodies. It felt very weird to me. They both hugged each other in a kiss. A long passionate kiss. They stopped breathing. Shane pushed her to the bed. She bit him in between his neck and shoulders. She marked him. Silver was truly her mate. I wondered why the moon goddess would choose Silver as her mate. Maybe Shane asked for it and it was given to her. Silver moaned. Please go in deeper, please deeper, Silver moaned. Silver smirked. Shane ordered. My turn to be pleasured now. Get down to business, Shane. Please get up. I want you to sit on my face. I like the sound of that. He's really good at what he does. Never tried sitting on someone's face before. Shane tied me down on a chair just to watch a live movie. Shane sat on his face. Swallow all of it, Shane ordered. I could hear the sounds of gulps. He truly swallowed all of it. Shane stepped out of the bed, and leaned on the wall. Silver laughed hysterically and said, "It seems you're like me." He raised her right leg, placing it on his shoulders. He plunged in all at once. "Take it out," Shane ordered, guessing she wasn't ready for all of it. I chimed in, "Take it slowly, inch by inch." I laughed at my words, tutoring two driven wolves. Silver accepted my advice but not fully. I felt like joining them in this fun. "You better not even think of it, wait till they're done. Control your moods." Helena warned, and I sincerely hearkened to her words. Silver raised her both legs to get better penetration. His thrusts increased at a fast pace. Shane the third time and waited in anticipation for Silver's second load. Silver's grip tightened. Shane knew that he was at his peak. "Fill your seeds in me, Silver," Silver continued, on her body. Shane laid on Silver's body. Silver tossed the key to my feet. I quickly picked it with my feet and joggled it and caught it with my hands. "Silver, cut the ropes," Shane ordered. As soon as Silver untied the ropes, I pushed him to the bed. I quickly opened the door and met Kieran, who pretended as if his keys fell. He bent to pick them up. "Now you're stalking me," I jerked. "Were you the one moaning?" Kieran asked hurriedly, staring at my body. "Are you that you can't differentiate between your sister's voice and mine?" I said as I held the doorknob. "Can't you just answer my questions without questions?" he said as he placed his hands firmly on the door. "Okay," I said as I wanted to leave, then he pulled me back. "Come on, Lila, I know you're really in the mood for a great grinding, skin against skin. I could feel your. Then if I'm satisfied with what you've done, I'll let you on me," I ordered in a cold voice. Kieran loved spending his time on me, so dominance would be making him beg or do things to get what he loves. I felt so excited that I didn't realize that Kieran's tongue had touched me. Kieran's operation was very different and I loved it. Kieran stood to catch his breath. I stopped him. "No kissing, get to work, you slimy fool." The best thing I loved about these words was that Kieran never complained about it. He loved it instead, and with the looks on his face my words turned him on the more. "This change is really breathtaking," Kieran divulged. "I want you to feed your eyes on my beautiful face, don't even do whatever that's in your mind." "Take me to the wardrobe," I said as Kieran carried me to the wardrobe. I leaned on the wardrobe. This position made it easier for deep penetration. I was certain that someone in the next room would listen to the sequential sounds of the wardrobe hitting the wall. I dug my nails in his skin. I knew he was near. "Put me down," I ordered. "What's wrong?" Kieran asked in a confused state of mind. "I just walked to his bathroom and had my bath using his toiletries, including his towel to dry up my body. I stepped out of the bathroom." "What's all this about?" Kieran asked, still confused about the whole treatment I was giving him. He thought I had my bath just to come back for a second round. "I guess I don't need. So find a way to cool that monster off, or better still find a hole to fill it in," I replied in a rude manner as I dressed up. "This is absurd, I can't even imagine getting another lady to finish what you started," Kieran barked. "Then cool it off, I would like to return to the party if you don't mind," I snapped. "If it's a joke you better stop it, we're here to have fun, you can't just go like this." "Oh Kieran, I had my fun, I cooled off the heat your sister put me in, so it's you that had no fun." "I had mine. If you want to see me I'll be downstairs," I said as I stood up and walked out of his room. That's the best punishment you could give a man. Lila, you're really good. I guessed you placed him in his right place, showing him absolute dominance. Helena felt fulfilled. I felt so fulfilled that I didn't realize I had gulped down 5 cups of alcohol. Lord Blackwood hadn't announced the meaning of the ceremony. The invitees were getting bored about the whole scenario. Some even opted to leave. "Come on, the party's just getting started," Lord Blackwood announced as he stood on the high-raised podium. Ryan was standing to his right. Why are you keeping us here? You haven't told us the aim of why we're here. An invitee barked. I sensed anger building up within Lord Blackwood. Lord Blackwood said in a bold tone. There are many reasons why we're celebrating tonight. We're almost a month before the ceremony of the West Wolves. But tonight we're celebrating the mating bond between my daughter Shane of the Red Moon Pack and Silver of the Shadow River Pack. Everyone cheered as Shane and Silver walked to the podium. Alpha Rome, do you concede to this union? Oh yes, he has my full support, Alpha Romeo divulged. It was my first time seeing him, although my father told me many things about him, but I couldn't forget the fact that Alpha Rome's a prostitute. He had many women, he used freely. This is good, let's make a toast. Everyone raise your glasses. Cheers to their mate bonding, progress and prosperity. And of course no sights of the rejection words. Everyone said cheers. Shane planted a soft kiss on Silver's lips. Everyone cheered as they walked down the podium. Shane hugged his father, they all sat on a table. I wore a beautiful dress but couldn't sit on a table. I would have loved to sit at a table, but I hated embarrassment now that I was getting ready with my plans of returning sanity to my pack. Now to the main reason why we're here. I would like to announce my first weapon, the wolf killing machine. Its target distance goes as far as 10,000 yards, which we can't reach even if we overrun ourselves. This weapon is up for function and would be sold to the highest bidder. I like the peace and sanity of our land and definitely love it to be permanent. Ryan took over the sale, Lord Blackwood announced as he walked down the podium. The starting price is 45 million, Ryan announced. I'll go for 49.5 million. The first bidder raised his hands. I'll make it 70 million. The second bidder raised his hands. I'll make it 150 million. The third bidder stood up and said, he paused and staked the highest price. I'll make it 200 million. This would be my chance of stealing this weapon. I'll call Dimitri right away.